and welcome to my craft room. My name is Michelle Wells. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator from Tasmania, Australia. Welcome to my last day of 12 days of Christmas fun. So it has been a pleasure to show you all my projects, and I've left the one that I like the most. Well, it's practical anyway, so I've left that one for last. But for the last time, I am going to say, if you comment, let me know where you're watching from, I will enter you in the draw to win the whole complete 12 projects that I've made throughout the 12 days. So you will get 12 project kits to make them up yourself. So so one lucky winner will get that. If you live internationally, I will send you out, I'll pick a winner from international people as well, and you will win 2 cards that I've made throughout the series, or you may, depending on how much it'll cost to post, I will send you a card and maybe one of the projects. So I will see, I'll find out when I go down to the post office how much it costs, and that'll be a surprise in the mail to you. So I'm just going to have a look, see if I can find myself up here. And I have, so I seem to have 2 popping up there. So hopefully I you can join me today for my last one. Tomorrow I am going to do Fun Fold Friday. I'm going back to Fun Fold Friday, so I will get all my names and that all in the draw, and I'll draw out a winner tomorrow. So so join me on Friday at 11 o'clock to see who the winner of all the projects are today. Hi Francis, thanks for joining. So and I actually might just see if I can share. I'm just going to see if I can share my share this to another page that I want to. So I'm going to share this quickly and just see if it works. So okay, and actually it's letting me do it today, yay. So alrighty, I've just posted that, so I'm sharing this into another page. So alrighty, so I'm going to get started, and I've got that up there. So if you pop on, please let me know where you're watching from so I can put you in the proper draw. I'd like to send out all these kits, but I don't think I'm allowed to, plus it costs a lot of money to send overseas. So hi Christy, how are you? So like I said, last chance to pop your name down. If you're watching it back on YouTube, like please comment, so every comment will go into the draw, and I will tally them all up and pop them all into the draw, my little draw tin, and I will draw out a winner tomorrow at my Facebook Live at 11. So I'm going to pop that away for the last time. Today I'm going to be using the Country Home stamp set, and I'm just going to be using Simply Thankful for All the Good Things, and that's going to be my sentiment. I don't need that one anymore. I've changed my and I will be using one of these dies out of the circle layering dies to cut, and I'm also using the poinsettia dies. I'll be using the poinsettia, one of the smaller flowers from there, and I'll show you. And I'm going to use the Stitch So Sweetly, and I'm using this little one here, and that one doesn't belong in that set, it belongs in that set, but I'll be using a few out of here, so I'll show you as I go along. So I've got everything all done except for the layering circles. I'll need that one out, and I've got that one there. The little project that I'm going to be making today is this. It's a little oh, and one thing I better grab that. I better grab a calendar too. So I'm going to be making this little little box, and you can see where I've done the stamp there, and I've done the poinsettia flowers, and inside it's got my little calendar, if you can see that. with another little poinsettia flower, and it's got the post-it notes. So this is one that I made for myself. So so it's got the little but it's just a cute little box. But when I made this one, I made my flower too close down, so I'll be making the next one a little bit higher up. So I've got some things pre-cut. So this is a little project that we're going to be making today. So hi Martha, thanks for joining. Howdy from Colorado. So hi Eileen from BC. So is that British Columbia? So I'll just see if I'm right. So, but like I said, this is a little project that we're going to be making today. So I thought this was pretty good because I like to have one of these. I've got one at the moment. I can't find it. It's here somewhere. So actually over on my other desk over here. But this would be cute to have your post-it notes in, so you know where they are. And I just thought that little sentiment just went nicely. So but that's what I'm going to create today. You can make this any way you like. I was going to create an album, but I've decided that one may need a little bit more time, and I may need to do that one over a couple of days, and I didn't have that. So I hope you enjoy this little project that I'm going to be making today. This one, like the poinsettia paper, the designer series paper, you could use that for, it doesn't have to be Christmas. Like to me, I'd leave that on my desk all year round. So, and it doesn't look Christmassy to me. So, but you could turn that flower into any way you like. But I had to create something for a Christmas present. So I thought this would be a cute little Christmas present for a Kris Kringle, something like that. So I am creating this for a project that I've got to do. So I'm going to get started. Like I said, I've got some of my pieces cut out here. I've got a piece of old olive, and this piece is 9 1/8 by 7 5/8. And I've got another piece here. This piece here is, lost my instructions. This piece here is 8 1/8 by 3 1/2. So that's our little wrap around that'll go around there. And I haven't cut all my DSP, so I'm using another piece of this. So I'm going to be using this, but I'll cut all the pieces as I go because I forgot what I know. The little pieces along the side here, they're all 1 3/8 by 3. And then I'll be doing the top piece here as well, and the other piece in here. So I'll do that as I go along because I changed up the measurements to suit what I wanted to do. So first up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these two pieces here because I need to score these pieces. So I'm going to pop this one into my trimmer. So it is British Columbia. I thought I was right. You love it? Love post-it note holders, do you? I do too. I seem to have a few. I've got one that I made a few years back, and that's really complicated to all the different folds, but I might challenge myself one day and do that one in a live. So I'm trying to find where I had my okay, so I think I didn't do the measurements on this one here, so I've totally forgot what the measurements were on that one. Actually, I think I've got it here. No, I've got it. I've got all my bits and pieces here, so I'm all ready to go. Alrighty, so on the 9 1/8 side, we're gonna score. Just checking my template to make sure that I'm doing this right. So that's gonna go. Yep. Okay. So on the long side, we're gonna score at So the first score is 1.5. So, and I'm pretty sad that this is all coming to an end, but it has to eventually. I need to go back to, it's been a time consuming, but I've enjoyed it, coming up with all the projects, and I, a couple of them that I had ideas for, I changed up and made a different one altogether. So I'm going 1.5, 3, 6 1/8. So I think this one is, did I do it this way? No, I didn't use this one because I found I couldn't see the 1/8 enough. So I'll grab my Simply Score, and I think I used this one because it was easier to see. So I'm going to pop that back in there and just make sure I've got 1.5, which I do. So 1.5, and this is brilliant, the Simply Score. So 3 again, and then 6 1/8. It was easier to do it on here because I couldn't really see the 6 1/8 on. Okay, why are you going? Seems to be going. Might be just the way. It seems to be all going all funny there, but that's okay. It'll work. And 7 5/8 is the next one. So that's 7 5/8. Okay. 1 2 3 4 5. It's going off track. That's okay. I could tell I haven't used this one in a while. So hopefully I'm in view. So then we're going to turn it around, and I'm just double checking to see what where's my other measurements. I did have them here. So I'm just having a look because I can't remember. Where's my notes? I've lost my notes. They've disappeared. There they are. And on the other side, we're going to turn it around and we're going to do it at 1.5. So 1.5. And I think I'm quite warm because we've had rain on and off last night, and so I've done it on 3 and 6 1/8. So I'll go for it. Actually, getting ahead of myself there. That's okay. I'll get rid of that. So we've got 1.5, 3, 6 1/8, and on this side we've got on the 9 1/8 side we've got 1.5, 3, 6 1/8, and 7 5/8. So that's all the scoring I need to do there. But where I've scored that one, I'll show you how I'll get that out. So on this other piece here, we're going to score this at 3 3/8. So 3 1 2 3 8. Okay. So 3 3/8 and 4 7/8. So 4 1 2 3 4. That's right. Let's write it up. 4 7/8. Sorry. Okay. Get with it, Michelle. I think that heat's getting to me. So 4 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay. I should have stuck with my other scoreboard. I seem to be doing a lot of mucking. So to get rid of those score lines that I've actually mucked up, I'm just going to rub. So actually I might just rub all those and start again. So this is a good way to get rid of, if you get score lines there, is to rub them out. So get your bone folder and rub them out. And I'll just start again. So now we need, like I said, 4 7/8, which is that last little one there. So I'm just going to redo that one again, and I'll just keep this one for myself. So okay, so I'll get that out of the way. Don't need that anymore now, so hopefully I haven't confused you. So I'm just going to get rid of that line as well. So it's easier to get rid of a line if you do so, and you wouldn't even know that I'd made a mistake. So okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm just going to fold all these, and I like to fold them on the opposite side to and that's for our little like our little cover, so it'll go on the front when we need it. So I'll pop that aside, we don't need that one just yet. So now I'm going to bring in my trimmer again. So, and what I'm going to do is, here's my template here. So because we need to cut all of this out here, I'll show you. So we're going to cut all that away from there, but I like to use the trimmer to cut up these lines, because I tend not to cut straight, but if you're really good with the scissors, you can cut up there, but I prefer to cut up. So those two double lines up here, like you've got two score lines, you've got two big squares up here, we're going to cut. I'm going to turn that around, and I'll open that up, and I'm going to pop it into my trimmer here, and just making sure I'm cutting up the right side, so that middle one. So these two squares here, if you can see these two squares here, or two rectangles, I'm going to cut from here up to that second score line. So I'm going to pop it in my trimmer, and I like to go from the bottom, and so make sure you've got it lined up in there. And I like to cut, so I'll cut, and if I don't cut right up to there, I can use the scissors to snip that. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to slide that along to the second one and line that into the trimmer, and I'm just going to cut that one up to there. And if I haven't cut it right up, I could, and that one I've done perfectly, and the other one all I need to do. So I'm going to get rid of that. So and I think that's fine. So now I've got those, I like to cut all these out before. So here's my template here, and all I'm going to do is copy that. So I'm going to cut up to that one. So I'm going to cut, and you could have done that with these, but because I wanted a flush line with that one, so all I'm doing is cutting these sections here out, and make sure that I've got that straight. Then I'm going to cut that one out, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to cut along that one there, and I'm going to cut this little square out here, and okay, and then I'm going to cut in my little mitered bits there. So you should have it looking like that, and you've got these two little pieces here. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and I'll show you what else I did as well in a minute. I cut these ones down here at the front because I'll leave those there, and I'll show you what I mean when I get to it, so you understand why I cut them off. But I'll leave those. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'm just going to be cutting this square here off and this square off, but I'm going to cut up to that one there. So I'm cutting up that one, and then I'm just going to cut that end one completely off. So I'll show you in a minute with that, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to miter those, and I'll show you the template in a minute of what I've cut off. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the opposite side, and cut that one off, making sure I've got on the right line. And then I'm just going to miter those. Get rid of all those, we don't need those. So I'll show you, this is what you should have. So that's our template, and that's where I've cut that off, I've cut that off, cut those three off there, and I've cut those three off. So makes sense. So and you can just see that is what I've done. So if you go back and you watch this and you want to you'll get a guide of, you'll know, you can take a screenshot of this if you like. And so that's what I've cut off, and that is our template for our box. So so now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold up on all those. I like to before I fold them, I like to cut them all out, so it's easier to work on a straight solid line. So you can just see now this is all coming together. So once you've folded all those, the next thing we're going to do is, before I do any assembling, so hi Renee, how are you? Hi Michelle. I looked at your comment, Lisa, and was going to say hi to myself. Hi Lisa, you've missed the start, but we'll watch the replay. Yes, it'll always be there on replay. So I'm making a little, I'll show you what we're making. I'm making a little post-it note box with a calendar. So, but yeah, and that's what we're making. So, like I said, before I start assembling, there's one thing that we need to do. You'll see here when I said to you about these two triangles, or these two flaps here. When we go to close them, we need to we'll need to cut them off, but I'll show you the reason why. Because in these two circles here, I'm gonna pop a one of my circles dies. I'm actually going to get it out. I can't remember which one I used, so I'll have to grab my... So what we're going to do is we're going to pop that into the center, and I think that's the one that we use. So I'm going to pop this into the center here. So we're going to be cutting this out, and the reason why I'm doing it now, because it's easy to do this, and actually before I get ahead of myself, so I need to cut my DSP. So I'm going to cut my pop that there for a second, and I'm just going to bring my DSP with my trimmer, and I'm going to cut three, it was 1 3/8 by 3. So I'm going to do my 3 first. And so 3, I'll just make sure that that was right. 3, yep, so 3 by 1 3/8. So once we've got our 3 inch, I'm just going to cut 1 3/8. So got 1 2 3. So I'm just going to cut 3 strips of that. So that's 1 3/8. That's 2 and 1 3/8. Okay, so we've got those pieces, and I'll bring that back in a minute when we're ready to do the next piece. So what we're going to do first is we're going to pop a piece on here, we're going to pop a piece on there, and we're going to pop a piece on there. So we're going to glue all those on, because that's the sides of your box. This is our back, so we don't need to put any on there because our wrap here covers it. So I'm going to glue all those on. So they were 1 3/8 by 3. So we need 3 pieces of those. So I'm going to use my glue again because I find this is easier to maneuver. So, and if you've got a pattern, make sure, actually, that's okay, it's not upside down. Make sure you've got it going the right way around because this is the bottom of your box. So I might need to have that one. So when I go, yep, so I'm going to have the pattern going in ways. So I'm going to pop that one on there. And I'm just sticking, I like to stick these all in because I'm going to be cutting all these down. Like I'll need to pop a punch through, a punch. I tried doing a punch and totally wrecked. I couldn't punch it through, so dies work really well. So that's the reason why I decided to do a die like the circle. So once you've got those 3 pieces on, and they're all on, we're going to work with the front because this is the front of your box here. So these 2 little flaps here are the front of your box, and this one is your back. So that's your back. That little one on its own down there is your back, and because you've got 2 here, you've got 2 panels here, and you've got 2 panels here, and you've only got 1. So that 1 panel is your back. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pop my lid. Have to go to the doctors. We'll watch the replay. Thanks so much, Michelle, for 12 days of projects. I have followed in. I'm glad that you have. So, and the replay will always be there. Like I will put them onto YouTube. So, I'm just checking. You love it? That's okay. Will you enjoy your day and hope everything goes well at the doctors, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, so now we've got that. I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine. So hopefully I wanted to only do this today. That's why I've already pre-cut everything. So and we'll need a post-it note. So I actually might just grab another one off here. I've got post-it notes everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold all these up because this will just only fit on here. So I'm just folding it. So but we're going to pop this in between where you've got the DSP and the your old olive piece. So in the middle of that score line, like you've got the score line. So this is going to go in between those and try to match it up the best you can. Like line it up so you've got half and half, and it doesn't really matter. Like it's no one's going to really look at it and say, oh, that's not, if you looked at mine's off center, this other one. So once I've got that, and I've done the same thing again as I do all the time. Okay, come back. So I'm going to do that again. So I'm just going to pop that. So you need to fold your other little flaps in, and so I'm just going to pop that, and I'm going to run that through. And my post-it note decided to come off. Okay. I did try this with the magnetic platform, but I preferred the post-it notes to stick it down because, yeah. Okay, so that's about where I want it. So I've got it there now, so I'm going to pop my plate back in there, and hopefully I'll get that in there. And I'm just going to run that through. and I am going to run it back again, so, and it won't cut all the way through the first time, so you'll have to take it back in and recut it. So I'm just going to tear that off, and I'll just see, oh no, it's gone right through today, so that's pretty good. And I'll see how well I lined it up, and you can see there's just a slight little bit when I fold that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop that die back in. So when you fold it, because this is the front of your box, when you fold it, that little flap back in, you'll have to like pop this back into that hole. So you're just popping it back onto that one again, and once you've got it in there, grab your post-it note, and where's my sticky side there, and just stick that back down there, and then we're just going to run that through again. And this is the hardest part. Well, for me, I think it's the hardest part, is and you only have to run that through once. Okay, so I'm just going to run it right through, and so I'm just going to get rid of all that, and I'll show you what you should have. So I'm just going to take that off, hopefully take it off without and now you should have cut that little, and no, I didn't, mine didn't cut, but I'm quite happy with that little piece there. If you want to keep that little piece, I'm just going to go with that. It didn't cut through for some reason, so I'm going to try it again, but that's, to me, that doesn't worry me, so I'm just going to leave that anyway. So it just gives it a nice little border around the outside of there. So now I'm just going to assemble it together. So I'm going to open them all up, and I'm going to grab my little trimmer, because I found where's my little trimmer, on these little double ones, I'm just going to snip just a tiny little bit off those end ones. So the one here with your DSP, I'm just going to sit that in there, and I'm just going to cut a tiny little bit off the end of that, and it just makes it fold in a lot better. And I'm just going to pop just a little tiny bit off that one. And I think I did that one, didn't I? Okay. Let's see. Can't remember which ones I did. And it just, like when you fold it, it just goes to that line, and it fits snug. So this is the one that I haven't done yet. So I'm just going to cut a little tiny bit off that piece, and that piece. So now we should be able to put it all together. So I hope you haven't lost me. I'm explaining it properly, because I went through that for some reason. But so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start gluing all these little pieces in. But before I do that, you'll see these two little flaps that I told you before. When that's closed up, you'll see that behind there. Can you see what I mean? So what we're going to do is I'm just going to cut a little piece off each side of that. So I'm just going to cut a piece off there and a piece off there, and then I'm just going to bring it back in. So I'm going to take that in, because that'll go on the inside, and I'm just going to line that up and make sure that, and it's not sticking over. So, and I'm going to bring that one in as well, and make sure that because you don't want that poking through like that. So, and I'm happy with that. So those little flaps you just cut off a long ways and make them a little bit smaller, so you can't see them in the hole. I hope I'm making sense. So sometimes I don't make sense to myself sometimes. So, but trying to explain it gets a little bit hard sometimes. But I hope you're following along. So you should have all of that. Once you've done that, I like to do these front ones here first. So, or you can do the back ones. I might do the back ones first. So what I'm going to do, and I'm thinking about going at the back of this one. So, because your back of your box will cover this. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue. So you got your inside of your box facing up. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on this one and a bit of glue on this one. Bit of glue, she says. And I'm just going to bring that one in, and I'm just going to line that up with that part, because you're not going to see this part because your other little part's going to cover that. So we're just going to bring that part in. I learned how to make this a while back, and I can't remember the lady's name. I think I did save her video, so I may, if I find it later, I may put it in the comments of where I got this idea from. So I'm just going to give that a little press down. And I think she made it like this because all these make the box a lot more sturdier. So I'm just going to glue all these little pieces down inside the box now. So I'm going to do those next. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue. Still working on the inside of your box. So and I'm just going to glue that piece down into there. And I like to do all these first, these side ones first, before I like go to the next one. And I should have snipped that little one off a little bit. I'll see if I can do that before I, okay. And you've got to make sure that you cut them really well. So I'm just going to see if I can snip a little bit off that one, because that little one's going to I just might do the same thing with this one. Might just cut a little bit off that, because when that goes down inside there, it's going to sit flush up, so that's better. So once you've got that, give that a good press down. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm just going to pop glue on the inside of this little one. And I'm just going to pop him down too, because I like to make sure like you cut the ends away, because when they sit in flush you don't want them bowing out. So, and then we're gonna might grab my bone folder and just give that a little rub down that one. Everything's sticking. And I'm going to do the same thing with that one. And just give it a good rub down in there. And then I'm going to pop some glue onto these ones here, these little tabs here, and then they're going to just glue on the inside. I don't really put a lot on those because they're just going to glue onto those ones. Okay. Make sure I line that one up first before I maneuver the other one. Okay. And then that one's going to go to there, and you can just see that no pieces are sticking over the top of my box. And then I'm going to pop some glue onto that piece there. And he's going to go down inside onto that one. And you can see I've just got a tiny little bit of a border there, and I quite like that, so it didn't work out how I did the last one, but that's okay. So I'm just going to give that a good burnish down with my bone folder, And there is your little post-it note box. So that's where your little post-it notes will fit, and they'll just sit in nicely. If I grab a spare piece here, you'll see them that they just sit in there, and that little hole is just to help you get them out. So, but yeah, so I'll pop those back in when I'm finished. So that's that box. We're going to put that aside. So then we're going to get our little just making sure that that is, if I've got the right measurements, and I don't think I did. When I was or did I? No, I do. That's okay, because the bottom part is smaller than the top, so that's right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to decorate the front of this. I like to put these on first before I, so and this is where I need to decorate the front of this. I'm just going to put my panels on first. Actually, I probably could do that one first and then do my panels on. So yeah, I can. So no, I'm going to put my panels on first. So I'm going to pop that aside, and I need to find my little piece here that says what my panels are, but I changed them up from what I had. So because I want a piece of, I want my old olive, and I want to have a piece of cinnamon cider. So I want to have a piece of cinnamon cider to go on the inside of here, and then I want my designer series paper. So the easiest way to do that is grab your ruler and just measure your box, your lid. So my lid is 3.5 by 3.25. So if I go 3.25 by what have I got? 3.25 by, if I go 3.25, so 3.25 by 3.25. I'll cut that piece first. So we'll need 2 of those. So okay, confusing myself now. We'll need 1 of those. So 3.25 by 3.25. So I should have had all these because I changed up my and I didn't put all the measurements for those. So we're just gonna, I'm just gonna double check. So 3.25 by 3.25, and maybe that one needs to go. Actually, you've got to make sure, because one side is a little bit longer than the other. So it's 3.25. So I'm going to take that one down to 3 3/8, I think. 3 1/8. We'll just see how that one looks. So we should have a nice border around there, and we do now. So that's one there. So the next piece we're going to go down is a little bit smaller. So I'm going to see if that fits in there, and it does. So that'll give us that piece there. So that piece is 3. So that's 3 by, so we need 3 by, what did I say that one was? 3, yeah, so we need 3 by, what did I say that one was? 3, so 3 1/8 we're going to go, and just see if that one is big enough. And you can have it any size you want. So that's tiny. Actually, I quite like that little tiny border. So we're going to go, just given that hint of colour on the inside of there. So I'm going to go with that. So that was 3 by 3 1/8 for the DSP for that. And I don't need any more for the back because we're not going to put any on. So then we just need a piece for the inside here. So like I said, that was 3.25 by, what did I say? 3.25 by, so we're just going to cut this one here again, but in the designer series paper. So 3 1/8 by 3 1/4. So just going to cut another one, 3 1/8 by 3 1/4. Okay, not the score, and that should be all our pieces. So it should be. So I'm going to start putting all those together. So that was on our inside, that one there. So we're going to do that one now, and I just like that tiny little bit of a border of the going in there. So I'm just going to glue all these together. So hi Shirley, how are you? You love all my projects. Awesome job, thank you. Thanks. Hi Paula, thanks for joining. So I hope you're enjoying today. I hope I'm not confusing you. So I blame the weather today because I'm a bit warm. So and I think it looks quite horrible out there. So we might be in for some rain, some more rain. So all I'm doing is popping that on, and I've got 1/8 of an inch border, but you can have a like a 1/4 of an inch border all the way around, but I quite like that color. So I'm just going to glue that to the base, like the top part, and just make sure that the long, see, I better double check that before I pop that back. So yeah, the longest side, I'm just making sure I've got that's right. So that's going to sit on your box, is going to sit there. So you've got a longer side. I think they're both the same side. I'm just going to double check that. So okay, what have we got there? So we've got 3 and 3/8 by 3/8 by 3 1/2. So we've got 3 1/4. Yeah, so one side is smaller than the other. So the longer side is your front part. So just make sure when you do it that you've got the longer part as your front. So that's where I'm going to stick these down to. So I'm just going to make sure I'm going the right way around. And I don't think it matters because they're okay. So let's give that a good push down, and that is your cover. So I'll stick the rest of that on in a minute. So on the inside, we're going to pop that piece of designer series paper that you cut with the 1/4 of an inch. So that's going on the top there. So, and I'm just making sure that it, yep, that's right. So I'm going to pop that up on the top of that. So, and glue him down. So that's all your pieces there. And I'll do the other little piece. So on the inside, we're going to have, on this one, you'll see that we've got a piece of the same, so I'm going to get my calendar. So I've got 2021 calendars. I'll just make that one there stuck. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do is grab a piece of the, and this is how I do it to give a nice little border. I did have, yeah, a big one there. So all I do is I normally just work it out, and then I'll grab my little trimmer. I'll put him away. So, and I normally just pop him on, and I'll just roughly cut, or hang on, whatever. So I've got 2. So if I do actually no, I'm going to do it that way again. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and that's how I like to do my. So once I've got that all lined up, I'll just cut it, and then I'll do the same thing there. So, and that's how I get my little, or sometimes I'll glue it, and or you can have any shape you like. So that one doesn't look like I maybe need to just tidy up the end of that one. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a tidy up. Was it that end? Yep. Just going to give that bit of end of a tidy up. For some reason I don't know what I've done there. There you go. So I'm going to glue my calendar onto there, but I'm not going to put that on just yet onto my base. So I'm just going to glue, just going to pop a little bit of glue onto there, and then I'm going to pop that onto a piece of cinnamon cider, and you want to be really accurate where you stick it, because you can't move that around, or otherwise you'll wreck your calendar. And so that's that piece there. So now we're gonna attach this to our base, so you can just see it's all coming together just nicely there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pop a bit of glue on the bottom. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue on the bottom of here. So make sure you put enough so it sticks down and adheres to your box. So I'm just gonna go over a little bit. I seem to be going, oh no, okay, go back that way. You can see that it's got a bit of a you've got a bit of and you probably need to go down there a little bit, and then once you've glued that, make sure that it's sitting just nicely and it's flush, and you've got, and before I give it a good press down, I'll do my back. So what I'll do is I'll put glue all over this one, and then I'll just put a little tiny bit in the middle there. So, and then I'll just fold it over up like that, and then make sure it closes, and it does. So then I'll grab my bone folder, and I'll just give that a good press down, and then I'll grab a little block, and I'll just do the same thing in there and give that a wipe down or rub down, so it's all glued in there, and I've got residue off my, and there is my little box. If you wanted to, that's another little idea, but because mine's going to be sitting up and it's going to be open all the time in here, I need to give that a hold down there. So hi Shirley, thanks for joining. So and so you just give that a good crease down there, and then there is your box taking shape. So I could have probably went a little tad back a bit that way, but once you've got everything on top, it'll close down. So so now I'm gonna pop my calendar on the inside, so I'll stick my calendar up the top there. So I'm going to stick that on the top. So I'm just going to glue that too. So, and just going to glue him up the top and into the center. And that's the reason why we got that little flower on the inside. I stuck mine a little bit too low down. Like if you look on here, I've stuck that too far down, and it sort of sits on the top of that. But and I think I could have went down a little bit more with my other one too. So that's okay. The more you close it, the better. So now I've got that. So we're going to grab all our other little pieces here, and like I said, I've already got them pre-cut, my pieces here. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm just going to set that up there for a minute, and I'm going to grab my I use Whisper White on this piece, but I'm going to use a piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the front. So, and I'm just doing that in the Memento Tuxedo Black. So, and I'm just making sure that, and I've, like, all these have been cut from the, so you're liking it? So, and hopefully I get that into the center, and and it's looking good there. So I'm just going to give that I should have had a mat underneath my, but that's okay, it's worked out. So I'm just going to sit that to dry there for a minute, and I've got two little flowers, and I've got two of the next size up flowers, and I cut them like with using the poinsettia dies. So I've got a sponge dauber here, and I've got cinnamon cider. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sponge around the edges of these. So, and just a little tiny, sort of to give it a bit more of a so, and I'm doing the little ones as well, and these are cut from the dies as well. I used two dies on these. I'll show you in a minute what I used to get the imprint of inside, and then I'm just gonna dab a little bit of color on the inside of those, if I can get it up, to sort of give it a bit more of a color on the inside. So I only used one dab, like I dabbed that once in the ink, and that done all flowers, so I didn't have to go back in and get any more color. So I'll show you how I cut those. So using these two here, you've got one that cuts the shape, and then you've got one that leaves an impression to get the that impression there, if you can see it. So you lay that down on your cardstock, and then you just pop this one in on top of it like that, and you just run those through, and that's how you get that, like the little embossed piece there. So, and that's just using both of those together. So I'll stick them back up there on my magnetic sheet there so I don't lose those. So all I've got to do now is put these together. So I'm just going to grab one of my flowers, the bottom of it, and I'm going to glue that to the top of that one, and I'm just going to off center it so it looks like, so while that I'm holding that down, I'm just going to bring my little leaves up, and I'm just going to give that a bit of a 3D look. So, and that's that one. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the little ones. I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on that one, and I'm going to bring that the center of that one in as well. And while I'm going to just do the same thing, just curl those up. Just be careful not to do it too hard, because yeah, you will break it. And on the little one here, I'm just going to, this little tiny one, and this is cut out of the poinsettia, I'm just popping a little tiny bit of glue, and that's going to go into the center of that one. And so, and once you've done that, and then I'm going to glue this piece on top of this piece. I've got a bit darker green to go on here that matches the leaves. I can't think what that was, not garden green, that was could be mossy meadow. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue just on this one here, and he's just going to go over top of that one. So, and it's sort of giving it a bit more of a bit of touch of colour, and try to get it straight on there and give that a good press down. So you sort of just, it's going off a bit there. So once you've got that to where you want it, I can still push that a bit. So I'm happy with it there. So the next, all we've got to do now is we've got to pop our sentiment on the front. And okay, just going to pop him onto the front, and I need to pop, might get those posted, actually I might do that first so that doesn't keep flopping down. So I'm just going to grab my dimensionals, and this is going to go up on dimensionals. So, and I'm just going to pop that up on a little dimensional. So I've got him up on a dimensional there, and I'm just going to pop, and he's going to help to like to keep those that calendar closed. So that's the reason why we have like that little flower there. So you can still lift these up. I won't lift them up. But you can lift these up and tear them off. So, but that keeps it so when you shut it, it's not flopping into the that's how I did that. So I'm just going to pop that back on the front, and I'm just going to pop my sentiment there, and I'm going to pop that one up. The other one I had up on, I just glued that one, but I'm going to pop this one up on some dimensionals, because I feel like it just needs a bit of actually I'm trying to go take the big ones. I might just cut some of those ones off, and I'll just use one of those there. I'm just going to pop these up on some dimensionals and try to get that into the center while so I'm going to pop that down about there. Quite like that one there. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get a dimensional, just one to sit this up onto, and that's going to sit on the, I'm just going to bring those leaves up. Now I've stuck it to my finger. Bring those leaves up, and I'm just going to stick that to about there, and then I'm going to grab my bling. I think that was the last thing that I needed, was my bling, and I'm going to grab my red rhinestones, and I'm just going to grab, okay, take your pick tool in here. I like my take your pick tool, so I'm just going to grab one of those, and that's going to sit in the center. Okay, no, maybe not. Okay, probably too much patty on that end. I'm just going to pull a bit of that off and try again. Alright, we'll try again. So I'm just going to grab one of those and I'm just going to set it into the center there, and you might have to hold that down a little bit. If you wanted to, you could glue that on. And I'm just going to grab another one, and he's going to go on the inside of that one. And that is it. I think I've finished that one. So yep, that's all I did. And so that's how you make a little post-it note. For some reason that one's not wanting to go down, but I think I went a little bit too forward. But I suppose once after a while, once it's been open and closed a bit, I sort of pre-scored it a bit more that way, but it's starting to go down. But see, this one I've had open and closed enough, and it's starting to, but it will in time. So I'll just show you. I'll take all those post-it notes out. I've got a few in there, so, and I'll just pop them in that one just to show you that they all fit. So, and I will get all the same color, but there you go. So cute little project you can make for a little gift. Yeah, so, and if you wanted to, you could tie some ribbon around there, but I just thought it was like I said, once you've closed that one enough, it'll stay down. But that's my little project. I hope you enjoyed it. I love doing these, so I suppose not everybody likes doing certain projects, but it's just one that I like. Will have sitting on my desk. I've got post-it notes all over the place, and so, but yeah. So, but anyway, thank you very much for joining me for the 12 days. I've had so much fun creating all different projects, and I hope I've inspired you to create some of these and give it a go. So, but like I said, I'll be back tomorrow for my Fun Fold Friday. I'll be coming back to do another card, and I'll also do the drawing for a lucky winner to win my 12 projects, a kit for my 12 projects, so that you can do at home. And like for the international, I'll do a drawing for that as well. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you give this a go, and I will see you tomorrow for my normal Fun Fold Friday. So, but anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I will catch you tomorrow. Alrighty then, bye for now.